Good morning, everybody. I hope you all can hear me because, quite frankly, I have no idea which mic is on. It's probably that microphone up there. It could be this microphone up here. I don't know. The problem with the YouTube is it used to be really easy, to stream stuff, and now it's probably that damn microphone up there, which sounds like shit. But oh well. Um, yeah, normally I'd be out there in the car, but I was like, I got up this morning. I'm like, I looked at the like, well, I didn't have any choice. I did get up this morning, but it was like at 4 a.m. Well, it was just shy of 4 a.m. I can't remember what time was it actually. Oh, all I know is, oh goodness gracious, I get up because all of a sudden, that little alarm goes off in your head. Thankfully, if I hope you've all got this alarm. You have to take a piss, and so I got up, and I figure, okay, I don't mind, as long as it's like at over an hour or so for it's time to get up and take the morning whiz. Because then you got a chance to go back to bed and actually get some more sleep. All right. But get up, I make it in there, I do the business. I come back, I start to lay down, and sure enough, I'm getting ready to put the CPAP machine back on, and my one nostril has closed. So now I got to roll back out of bed again, blow the hell out of my nose to the point it sounds like I'll put it to you this way, there's animals out there in the fields going, what the hell is that noise? Yeah, I probably sound like crap because it's probably using the damn webcam microphone again. Hang on. I'm like, oh, great. So I'll blow my nose out. I even got up, took some Dayquil. Okay, everything's starting to get fine. I put my CPAP machine back on. And sure enough, I get in position, I get comfy. And of course, Oreos come to tuck me back in again. Because my cat tucks me in at night. It's a weird thing he does, okay? And if I get up in the middle of the night, he tucks me back in. I know, he's weird, ain't he? Hang on, what's this edit button doing? All right, we don't want to mess with that right now. All right, so I get up, go back in there, I lay back down, and all of a sudden I get that voice from the engine room, the lower bowels. Basically it's the equivalent of, Jordy or Scotty or whatever. We're about to have a work core breach. We're about to vent dry plasma. In other words, now I have to take a shit. So once again, take off the machine, get up, come in there, do the business, come back in. And by this time, I don't even know what time it is. Okay, I was like, I flop back down, and it feels like 5 minutes later, the alarm clock goes off. I'm like, I'm already like the Walking Dead because yesterday I had basically the same thing just about happened. I had to get up, like less whatever I'm up like after 3 because I get up at 4 usually. It's like I just can't go back to bed. By the time I start to fall back to sleep, it's time to get up. People are like, "Oh my God, the old man's boring us to hell with shit about his life." Oh man! But the good news is Jimmy Kimmel's back on the air. I'm like, I know it has gotten crazy. Here's the thing: I'm one of them guys who does not like censorship. I don't like when free speech is tottered away and thrown off and then stepped on. So if people didn't like what Jimmy Kimmel had to say, that's too bad. It's like I've been saying for years. There are two knobs on every radio. We've got remote controls for our TV, and there's this little thing called channel. You press the channel button and it changes. It's like, folks, this ain't like back in the day when we had like, when I was growing up, TV was on the air. You were lucky if you got good reception. There was no cable when I was growing up, not till a little bit later. So you were at the mercy of whatever your TV antenna could pick up. And that was 3, 5, 8, 19, 25, and 43. Channel 55 and 61 came along much later. And 19, that's right. Yeah, channel 19 didn't come along until a bit later. So it was 3, 5, 8, 25, and 43. Yeah, channel 19 came along a ways later, as did 55 and 61. And that was it. You had your UHF channel and your VHF channels. And if the game got blacked out in your local area for football for some dumb reason, my dad had to wing the antenna around using an antenna rotor to face it towards Toledo to get channel 11, where they would be airing his football game that week. And if we really tried, yeah, we'd get channel 11 in pretty well. And all right, so that was TV back then. But guess what? Today, you've got like a couple billion channels. You can press the button and, you're done. Wow, the trolls ain't even coming out. I'm shocked. And so, if you don't like what someone's saying, just turn the channel. Now, you've got all these other people who are being fired for things they've said online. It's like, folks, if you're working for a company, you represent that company, and you've probably signed paperwork to that effect. The place where I work has implemented that policy, where if I say something that negatively reflects my company, then I could be terminated. I know it's it's a nifty way of circumventing free speech, but at the same time, like I said, you should know better. Now, what I saw what Jimmy Kimmel did was like really tame compared to what a lot of people were doing. Oh, like the imbecile showed up to a memorial and started going like this, making this locked up. All right, there it goes. The guy who showed up, making fun of what Charlie was doing when he got shot. By the way, that student expelled. That's right. The more you F around, kids, the more you find out. It's a fact of life. I'm sorry, but if you're there on a scholarship, and all that, you should be thankful. When someone dies and is murdered in public in front of their wife and children, you shouldn't be thankful. You should show some respect for those who are grieving. I'm not kidding. It just amazes the living shit out of me how insensitive and callous all these people are who are jumping up and down yelling, we need to free some country that they never heard of a year ago. But this guy said something we don't like, so we're going to openly support the fact he was assassinated. Oh. So I know I'm getting way too political in my old age. 9 times out of 10, I don't watch news. I don't get involved in any of it because it's not worth the time or the effort. It's the same horror show everywhere you look. Also, just about all your news channels, back in the day, that's another thing we had. We had local news. Now, just about every channel is tied to a network. So it's pretty much the same news you're getting on the network news. And all your big news companies are tied through, I think, to about 3 multimedia international companies. Think about that. That should scare you. And who owns the multinational media companies? That's why I die laughing. People are so worried about whose color is this, what color is that. Is that person's religion going to, somehow destroy my life, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, guys, the people you should be looking at are not the person. The only color you should be worried about is green. How much green has somebody gotten? They've been paying. I'm not kidding. But even then, guess what? We're probably not going to have paper money much longer either. Come to think of it, they already announced that the mint, once it uses up the current supply of blanks, they'll at sometime in the middle of next year, the penny will no longer be printed. The penny has come to the end of its existence as of next year, as in being minted. They will no longer be distributed. I know there's people out there going, I'm going to grab all the pennies I can. Well, probably because it now costs more to print a penny than what it's actually worth. Or stamp it, actually. The way the U.S. dollar is going, hell, they might as well have it print the ATM machine right there in the toilet stall next to you. It's worth as much as the paper that's hanging on the roller, the way things are going. But, oh, I know. It's just a weird morning because, like I said, it's the first time in 2 months I finally just said, screw it. I'm not going in. I am tired. I'm worn out. Sure, I'm not working this Saturday, but I'm like, I just didn't feel like I'm like, I'm dead. I'm not going in. Oh, I'll probably end up spending most of this morning asleep in this chair, acting like I've done something. But you see, that is the wise course of action because Lady G has things to do today. This right here is my bunker, my protection, my safety. As long as I stay out of her way, the longer my life expectancy is. Okay. So how's everybody doing this morning? I see some people finally showed up. It's kind of weird how when you're on the phone, all these weird guys show up. All the crazed psycho trolls do saying some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. But when you're on the desktop, it's your usual crowd, which is kind of nice. I know there's not a lot of us, who've been following this channel for years, and it's like I'd love there to be more people and all that, but at the same time, I don't obsess about it. There are too many people out there worried about how many numbers they got on a page. And no thanks, I'm not doing an OnlyFans either. People would be paying me to put my clothes back on. Either that or I could do Sasquatch porn, just walking around with my shirt off. That ought to be enough. Then again, I'd probably have crazed hunters and blinds taking pot shots at me. Oh, it's one of them Bigfoot. Shoot it. Okay. Oh. So once again, there's no Doctor Who news. There's probably not going to be for a while. They're now using war between the land and the sea as a delaying tactic. We're not going to have a decision until after the spinoff airs. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah. And their wife is Morgan Fairchild. Oh, yeah. I'm not kidding. The way Jane Trant or all that popped up with that is like, my God, John Lovitz's one character just popped right into my head. Yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah. It's like, no, the decision was based off your main show. And your main show has not yet rendered a decision, and it stopped airing, it finished how long ago? And the Billy Piper thing was a Hail Mary, because how much do you think they're going to have to pay Billy Piper, who's now got a career, to be the Doctor for even one season? This ain't, same little just off the stage Billy Piper from like 20 years ago. This is Billy Piper, who's an actress now. And not to mention the fact she's going to be, of course, in Wednesday, as far as I can tell. No, Mark, there's no confirmation that anything has anything to do with anything. It's just, remember, Jenna Ortega's busy, blah, blah, blah. And now they've gotten people conditioned to the point that they'll wait 2 or 3 years for a damn series on a show, which is ridiculous. I don't blame you, Steve. I don't blame you. I really have no faith, in the spinoff, given what they did to Unit in the last couple series. They turned Unit into a lame brain joke, and I'm going to say it. It was like the diversity panel. I'm agreeing with some people. I can't believe it. Yeah, I've been seeing images of Alex popping up, with the Strictly thing and all that. I'm glad she's out there doing something other than, hanging with the rich dude she married. Oh, well. I'll put it to you this way: if there was actually any optimism, they've already got a cast ready. Shooty Gatwa wouldn't have left. That's what I mean. It's just all pointing towards no, they don't have a decision and they're not going to get one, or they've got a decision. I mean, it's not a good one, or Disney wants more control, or something like. Yeah, I agree with this. It's 1989 all over again. It's the same old tune. It's just a new dance. Well, then again, maybe it's the same dance, it's just a new tune. Either way, it's remarkably the same. So I just wanted to pop in on y'all and say, yeah, I'm not in the parking lot this morning. Here I am. I just was so beat this morning. I'm like, forget it. I haven't called off in 2 months. I'm not going in. I know that was the biggest bullshit excuse. Come on, Peter Capaldi made it through how many seasons of Doctor Who? Matt Smith did it, and he had previous injuries from being a footballer, and David Tennant had always had trouble with his back, and yet he made it through how many series? Oh well. So take care, everyone. I'm finishing this up. Have a great day. We'll catch you all on the flip side. Take care of yourselves out there. Be kind, be calm, and be safe.